the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see two teams, each riding a 3-game win streak, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Miami Dolphins. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins. Hi, everyone. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games. Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. And they'll run it here. Now this will go for 5 up to the 33.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to establish the running game early.
Hurry up, here we go.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Green 39! Green 39!
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. The receiving numbers for Kenny Stills in last week's game. 3 catches, 77 yards.
And he was able to pull that last pass in, but he's going to face a tall order here because he's going up against the number 2 unit in the NFL against the pass.
Set! Green!
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to sling this. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Kenny Stills, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week. We're not really ready to go. You might run them in.
And all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in your own red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score and the momentum, and everything just changes for your team.
Yeah, so the kickoff fumble, now great field position. Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame man, in on the tackle.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in.
And this is caught by Parker for a Miami touchdown. Devontae Parker, his 5th touchdown now on the year.
Under review. After review of the play,
Sanders now to have the extra point. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll make the score 14-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He'll let it fly for Austin. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. They'll try and throw for it here. He'll let it fly for Austin. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Jones. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. On 4th down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, 4th down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercept. But the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
39. Green 39.
Out Out of the gun now on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, but there is a flag down. He might get another shot
Personal
at this.
foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy
Automatic
the
first
conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now, to be frank, a silly penalty there trying to block the field goal, and that leads to a fresh set of downs.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Looking left sideline, incomplete. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there. And it's third down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Back to throw here. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
The kick by Sid will grow. It's now 17-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense, because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch, and it came on a crossing route. I could just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does a defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it, because it's hard to change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott, and inside the 20 before he's brought down. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Flush to his right. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. In for the score. And the Cowboys get a bit closer.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses, because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And they'll go on the ground. Oh, now he bowls him over. So he got free at one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Malcolm Jenkins up to make the stop.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
All right, here we go. Green, 30.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a 1st down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. He'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll be 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Let's go. Green, 39. Green.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And Stills over the middle. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll drop to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive, that culminating touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. On 2nd down, Elliott. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. Give him 30 yards there. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Now back to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and that'll make it 3rd down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They come after them, they sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. A solid run of 11 there as he tucked it and ran, but he's still short of the marker at its 4th.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration.
Well, that's a nice job right there. He's looking downfield, but with no one open, he takes off and tries to run for it. He gets to the sidelines and gets out of bounds with a first down.
This is Elliott, and he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Again to Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They converted once earlier in this drive, but they'll roll the dice here again on 4th down. He'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jason Garrett might be wanting to reconsider the decision to go for it there. And the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. So that's the second time this game they've given it up on 4th down. They're now 1 for 3 on 4th down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on 4th down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. They've stopped them 2 out of 3 times. Usually, you have 4th down plays that you have dialed up. Not so far in this game. They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
And Stills bringing it in. And down he'll go at the 25. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. 4 yards down. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This will be fielded at the 17. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure his team sees him as confident. Continue to try and up his game, but just let him know, hey, if I'm around, if I'm the one calling signals and throwing the football, just follow me, we'll get there. Sometimes that will do more to elevate a team than anything else.
See if he has that confidence. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Here we go.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And that one results in 35 yards. On play action, they'll throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Well, he's been the guy already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
In fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well. And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Looking to throw. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Hurry up. Here we go. 319.
Back to throw. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. Here's Matt Hawk now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But
this is
I'm
doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. On the crossing route, he hits his man, Amari Cooper. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Back to throw now on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. He'll drop to throw. Buying time to his left. Looking for the end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Coverage that time by Bobby McCain. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Down to about the 22 here. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3. Again, it's Elliott. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they've bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Looking for Austin, intercepted. picked up by Xavier Howard. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. And they're going to come up empty here on 4th down. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
A very solid gain of 27.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. And credit the tackle to Taco Charlton with a stop.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
They had enough yards for the first down, but a clutch hit right there defensively. Jars it free. No first down.
And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. Sanders' kick is good. And that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field. But they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Completes it right side to Cooper. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pick up there of 20 yards. They'll look to throw now on first down. Right back to Cooper, and he got him again. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. Their mobile, agile quarterback with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Cowboys have cut it to within a score. So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Now he goes spin. Oh, another great move. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he'll get it down here to the 43. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 3rd down, it's Sherman. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I wonder if they just kind of outguessed themselves a little bit trying to run it on 3rd down. Probably should have gone to the air to try and pick it up. Instead, the punting unit will have to run on the field.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Flex round, flex round.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Wide open, Amari Cooper. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And give him a gain of 37.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A 1st down carry by Elliott. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points, said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range, and guess what? They've got a shot.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cowboys will have the lead if they can hit the PAT. And they drew up the counter there. It worked. They're glad they drew up the counter.
And a lot of times what you're trying to do is just simply get the defense moving in one direction. It doesn't take much. Even 1 step's enough. Get them going in one direction and then cut back against the grain and let your running back finish it off and get the work done.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Then the Dolphins getting set to go here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And this is Ertz with it, right side. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pickup there of 20 yards. 5th catch of the game for him there. Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right, safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block.
Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
Holding offense.
So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. He'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in hand.
They really do. And it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now a play fake here on first down. Trying for the tight end, Ertz, and it's intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. That'll put him over 150 yards receiving now. Quite a ball game and a first down.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. They're going to look to throw. Breaks a tackle. Oh, no, he lost the football. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Back to throw. Ertz over the middle. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. The Dolphins moving with a sense of urgency here. He's back to throw. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 7 catch. He'll look to throw. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. A good pickup there, 22. Back to throw. And over the middle, this is Parker. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll look to throw. On the right side, open is Gesicki. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. They'll set up to throw. Incomplete. This is Albert Wilson. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. The Cowboys signal for their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And on the ground they go with the running back. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Back to throw here. And he finds Stills complete. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
They'll drop to throw. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute.
How many people are watching this one right here and gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah. What looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one, because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
So the inability there to get the two-point conversion sort of leaves the door at least a little bit more ajar.
And puts the onus now on the kickoff team and the defense to make sure they don't give up a big play that puts them in position to lose.
Especially on this kickoff, got to be careful. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short in the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. A gain of 39 that time. And he did exactly what they needed him to do, Charles. Got out of bounds. They have no timeouts.
And they knew that before the play even began. Still executed it. How many times have we seen it happen where you know it, yet a guy still looking for a timeout or trying to stay in bounds? He got it done.
They'll set up a throw. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Derek Barnett, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Look in the mirror, how could you face that? Mask on, don't even know where my face at. Plenty don't even know where waist at. All these in the room, how could you waste that? Huh? Why would you chase that? It's a never-ending run on this.
Scouting points are earned every week. Use all your points, as a portion of the remaining points will be lost when you advance the week.
Jewelry, what I tell myself as I'm writing my eulogy. Ask the mirror, how you put up with this foolery? It reply, how you put up with this song and dance, all this buffoonery. Long romance, death, what it do to me? Yeah, Yamagini dream was a nightmare. He was dancing with the devil for his life, yeah. We all on the dance floor. Girl, come with a dance. Puerto Rican in them breathing heavy. Little had my looking daddy. Couldn't tell him nothing cause we lost him already. Cozy boy with his spaghetti. Want the money.